Last Friday I recorded and it ended the recording fairly early, and I apologize for that. Can't do much about it, unfortunately. But, and why is this not showing? We still don't have any sound there, I guess. Source. I don't know why. Okay, well, last time we ended up finishing chapter 5. Maybe, can't tell if I'm connected. I guess I'm still connected. The screens over here aren't working, and the sound over in Maxwell is not working. I'm going to assume I'm still connected because I think I am. But last time we ended up finishing chapter 5 up, which was the idea, I guess. We want to start a new project. We're a little bit ahead of schedule, so we're not quite right on the schedule that we had hoped for, but being ahead is better than being behind, right? I would like to do a little review of chapter 5 today before we kind of jump into our next project, the next project being the slow car project. Particularly what I would like to review is on page 119, you'll see the figure 5.1, which is the engineering design method that we've been going over and over again. So let's take a look at that again. This is what it looks like. Me?
Hey.
Hi.
How are you doing? Is it connecting?
Yeah, it's connected, it's just only sound.
Okay, because I talked to Todd. He said he did a test earlier and it worked.
Did it test a Hershey?
Yeah.
Or it's on
Maxwell. Mm-hmm. And so, tell me again, I forgot which direction hears who. They hear you?
They can hear me, I can't hear them.
You can't hear them.
It's been that way almost the whole semester.
Okay. Using the dog cam, no problem. Mic wasn't muted.
We reset the whole system so that we could make it work, and it worked for a day, and then it didn't work again.
That's interesting. I've never seen an iPod thing on there before. Okay, there we go. Unmuted. And volume.
Can somebody speak over there in Maxwell? Usually I have a picture up on that screen, so I'm actually not entirely sure I'm connected, but we should be able to...
Let's go back to call. You should show connected though. You should show connections and you don't. This is a new one for me too, sorry.
Well, and if it hangs up, like if I hang it up, it shows...
It's auto dial, right? It auto dials, yeah. You don't have to dial anything.
I dial.
Oh, you do?
There. No. Yeah, there. Right there.
Okay.
The top picture, that's them.
Okay, so let's change the mode. There you go, yep, on your remote. Still needs to be larger than that. There.
All I need is to hear them.
Okay.
You guys still hearing me, Kyle and Kevin?
Wave a hand or something.
Yeah? Okay, say something. Sing the national anthem. We can't hear you.
Okay, check your mics on the table, please, guys. Make sure they're on and the light's illuminated.
Do they have microphones?
Mhm.
They do on the tables.
Mhm.
They have one on the front.
Well,
Yeah, so it's,
nothing? Okay, hang on, I'm just gonna use your computer for the actual. Sorry about this.
no worries. I will talk while we're trying to fix this on this end, if that's okay with you.
Go ahead, yeah, please do.
So anyways, as we were going through Chapter 5, we were essentially outlining this process of the engineering method. And the thing that I would really like to concentrate on and have us talk about a little bit is this one right here, Step 7, which is to document the solution. I actually don't like that they have this in one of the steps. I think it should be outside of the process and surrounding the entire process. And this is why I've been giving you these worksheets to work on during projects. But in this next project, you are going to make your own logbook, kind of like a journal of the work that you're doing, the things that you learn, the data that you collect, and the designs that you make during the process of your project, during the entire project itself. So this documenting the solution and communicating the solutions to management kind of become a box that surrounds this entire thing that you'll be doing the whole time that you're in the design process.
I am Jared.
And
They cannot.
I will give you some examples of this as we go through our next project. In fact, I'll give you some examples of it today.
Okay, thanks, bye.
And we will look at some good logbook examples, some bad logbook examples, and I'll explain to you kind of what I expect in a logbook, and then you will be responsible for making your own logbook as you go forward. Let's actually, right now my computer's offline a little bit because they're using it to try to fix this problem here. Let me see if I can find a good example of a logbook for us. I can't remember if they have one in this book. I have several that you can look at in other places. Well, I can't find a good example in this book. Let me talk to you about what makes a good logbook. First of all, like a journal, the logbook should include a date and even maybe a time, depending on what kind of times you spend doing things and how important time is to your project. If your project is a very short project, maybe just a day or two, then certainly you want to include time so that people know when things are happening and can coordinate in that way. However, that's not the only thing that I want you to write in every logbook entry. I also want you to write your name in every logbook entry. I want you to get used to doing that because sometimes you'll have several people using the same logbook and all making entries, maybe even from different places. So make sure that you put your name, the date, and maybe even the time. It's also helpful to put in the time if you work on the project several times within a day so that you can kind of know when you made each record. The next thing that you want to include in a logbook is a quick summary of what you're writing about. So right after a date, a time, a name,
Yes.
you maybe include a sentence or two. I'm here to do research
Yes.
on past designs for this particular project or something. I'm researching possible design paths. Whatever it is, make just a quick summary so that somebody that comes in and looks at that logbook entry can quickly see what you're doing there and decide whether or not they need to read on or move to the next entry. After that, you want to include the relevant information, the information that is absolutely necessary to the project. Stuff that's not necessary, you don't want to include in the logbook. So I've had several people treat this kind of like a diary where they just write down, well, today we're looking on the internet and we spent time, we Googled these things and we didn't find anything and Wikipedia said that, and just rambling on and on and on. But we don't need that information because that's not going to help us to recreate this project. What we're trying to do is create a book of information that somebody can come to if they wanted to recreate our project or figure out where our project went wrong or start our project from where it ended or whatever. They need to know the relevant information only, not the minutia. So you say, I spent some time doing research on coffee makers today because I'm building a coffee maker for this company, and I found 7 different designs that I think are important or I think are interesting for this project, and then maybe include links to those things and maybe some imagery and maybe some notes on why you think they're important. But
Sorry. My IT guy says to figure out the problem, he would have to have you not teaching, so and I'm sure you don't want to do that. So
can I just wait till after I'm done?
yes,
Okay.
and so I'm just going to put it on the ticket that you don't want to do that while you're trying to teach because they can hear you.
Okay. Yeah.
And we will try to figure it out on another test dial, okay?
Okay. So sorry, we're just talking techno stuff over here.
And then you can swap inputs, at least they'll be able to see it.
Yeah.
Again, you won't be able to hear them.
Thank you.
Oh, my glasses are there somewhere too, in my hand. Thank you.
This is yours too.
Thanks, Jared. I'm not used to getting out of the office, you know, got a promotion.
Okay, so the things that you want to include are relevant information. The things that are going to help people to redo your project, to start over, to start from where it ended. Or people that are in your project, they can know what you have done so that they don't do the same thing again. So it's a guide for people. It's not a diary of every little thing. It's certainly not Twitter. It's certainly not going to be, you're not going to Facebook a picture of your lunch or something. It's just not that. It is relevant information that actually will be useful to somebody at some point. So let's see if I can put in a picture of my computer here. Okay, is my computer coming up there in Maxwell? Can you see it? Can you guys see my computer screen? Can you hear me there in Maxwell? Well, that's not good. Now I can't hear anything. I'm going to try this again. I'm going to hang up again. This is really messing with my head here. Messing with my class manager. What is going on? The class is frozen. You gotta be kidding me. Starting over. This is... Can you guys hear me at all in Maxwell? I'm going to assume that it's frozen because nobody is moving on the screen. Hello? Can you guys hear me in Maxwell? I'm the only thing moving. Oh, I love this. This system is so fun. $10,000 worth of garbage. Well, okay, since I can't really seem to do anything now. I apologize for this for 14, 15, 20 minutes of class. And I still can't get anything to work. My students in Maxwell, I I can see a picture of them, but it looks like it's a frozen shot of them, like they're stuck, they're zombies or something. I don't know. And I can't get anything to work here. Now my beautiful stop. This is just junk. Oh man, I'm so sick of this system. Oh, maybe that worked. Okay, let's try this again. Phone book. Holy mackerel, what is this? Hello? What the heck is going on? Hang up this call. I can't see anything. I can see myself. This is great. That's new. This is wonderful. See this, I can see the source. Primary input source is my computer. Okay. Hang up. Well, I can't see anyone here now, and I don't know if they can see me. I'm still recording, and I'm just kind of talking to myself. I'm starting to feel a little strange. Of course, I mean, it says, I can't tell, I mean, it says that there's a call noise. I guess I should assume that things are still going. This is just really dumb the way this is all set up. Not set up as the case would be. I can't see anybody. Can't change anything. I love it. This makes so much sense. Well, whatever. Okay, I'm just going to move on to what I was talking about here with a concerning a logbook. The logbook should follow you through the engineering process. Every step of the engineering process should have entries, and I mean entries and several entries in some cases. And let's take a look at some logbooks here. I'm going to go to Google and we'll just Google some, see if we can find them that way. If we can't, then I have some I can find on my Google Docs page. But this is more interesting. So, here are some images of different engineering logbooks. And you'll see that sometimes an engineering logbook can be a fairly simple thing here. Let's see if I can zoom in on this. This looks like a list of data entries. You've got some columns here. You've got some things that they've done. It looks like they did an air test. They did it on some times. Did some bombing tests, some fighter affiliations. I mean, this looks like some kind of engineering logbook for maybe some military thing. Here's another. That one's way back. Let's not do that one. Oh, didn't mean to throw that away. Let's try this again. So sometimes an engineering logbook can really be quite simple. It can just be information. This one's an operational handbook where they have just columns of things that they're entering data in, they have check marks they're making, and that's fine. In your case, it is going to be more like a journal, maybe like this, where you're writing things down. You can see here they've got, this is a date entry over here, and they've written some things, contacted IBM for IU door status, including weather protection. So if you've got an assignment to call somebody or to email somebody or something like that, and you do it, that'd probably be important to put in the logbook, but also what you learned from it. So here we've got a note they wrote, somebody called and they were concerned about this, and they're talking about this is the result of this call to IBM. And that way everybody who on this project can come in here and open up this book and see what happened with that. Let's take a look at maybe some other ones here. How do I close this thing here? I can't tell. Screen's not quite lit. Let's take a look at one that maybe looks a little more technical. In this case, we have somebody that's obviously designing something, ball joint arms it looks like, and he's got several drawings that have obviously come from different things that he's maybe researched, different things that he already knows, a little bit of brainstorming. It's a little scattered around the page, and he's got some notes and some drawings, and you can tell that he's a fairly good drawing. This is continued from another page, and you can see that there's not a date on this, but if we went back to the previous page, you hopefully would find a date and a name. This could be the result of brainstorming sessions or the follow-ups to brainstorming sessions. And this way, when people come into the logbook, they know what kind of ideas have already been generated, and maybe as they're reading through this, they come up with some better ideas or some new ideas. Here you can see that they've made a fairly detailed drawing, but it's not specified. There's no measurements, there's no what materials this is going to be made of. This is definitely a sketched out drawing, and that's definitely something you would find in a logbook. Lots of sketch drawings, lots of ideas being put on the paper and being hashed out. Eventually, you will also have very detailed designs with specifications, with dimensions, and other things. So here's a great example of this, where you have, over here you have a list of, it looks like numbers. I'm not sure what those numbers are. Maybe they're just contact numbers, and if you're working in a group, contact numbers are definitely a good thing to have in there. But over here we have some pictures, some actual photographs of something that they're working on. Some kind of design, lots of detail. You can see there's some close-up pictures, some far-away pictures, and there's dates, and they're labeled. And sometimes you will have lots of things written in under them, lots of notes. Maybe one page will just have a single picture with a lot of notes and arrows pointing to different parts of the picture. And that is definitely something you would see in an engineering logbook. Let's look at maybe just a couple more engineering logbooks here. I think I like this one right here. I have no idea what they're doing here, but they're obviously organizing something. Maybe it's some data, maybe it's some tasks. And a lot of times logbooks have things organized in them. For example, a list of things that we're supposed to be doing for a project. And those things get checked off as we do them, or a list of assignments. So organization, team organization, personal organization, date organization, task organization, those kinds of things are put into a logbook so that everybody can see them. It's relevant information to the project, extremely useful and helpful. And of course, more and more diagrams as you go through, you'll see that there are plenty of ways to put in diagrams into a logbook. There are just so many different things. This is one of my favorite logbook entries. And this one is a famous one. The first ever bug found in a computer, a real bug that was retrieved from a computer here. This is a moth that got between two relays in a Mark II big electromechanical computer, and the engineer that found it pulled the bug out and replaced the relays, and was able to show this is what they call debugging a computer, right? That's why debugging software is called debugging, because of these first actual bugs that would get in the computers and cause problems. So what is the moral of the story here? The moral of the story is that you need to keep track of the things that you do, most particularly the things that are very important to the project. If you don't keep track of those things, neither you nor your co-workers nor anyone else who comes after you will know what you did in time. It will be forgotten. So make sure that you're keeping a good logbook. Now, I mentioned that I do have some student logbooks, so let's go ahead and take a look. I recommend that my students use Google Drive for their logbooks because it's a place where you can keep them and you don't have to worry about saving them or printing them or a computer crashing or anything else. So I'm going to sign in here, see if I can remember my account. I might be able to. Actually, that's not it. And the password is the hard part. Can't always remember those. Let's see if I remember this. Hey, first time, not bad. So, what we'd like to do is go here to my Google Drive. Now let's take a look at some logbooks here. See if we can find one. For some reason I'm not finding it. Where is it? Maybe it's not in this version. Actually, several Google accounts, so I have to figure out which one it is. So apparently that's not it. Let's try it. It's hard to keep track of all these things. Okay. This looks better. So let's find a So this is a logbook of some of my students, and they did it in Google Drive. You can see here they started with a date and a time. And this is some contact info for a team leader. So gave a phone number, gave an email, and then teammates' email. So we've got some other people's emails here. These are people that are long since gone. We'll just go through those really quickly since that's kind of, I guess, private information. Sorry about that. But they start off with a little objective statement. The objective of this logbook is to record the information and ideas of electric team on the weather tower project. And here they have these notes of their meeting. And then they go on. I don't think I'm connected at this point.
Okay, so he's going to call in. So can I touch your control panel?
Yeah, that's fine.
Because he called
Recording
me
is
and
the
he
only
said
reason I don't want to stop.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's no big deal. You can go ahead and do that.
Can you pause recording or not?
No,
See,
the
okay.
system doesn't allow you to pause.
That's why.
and stop
Okay,
or nothing.
I'll call him back.
Okay.
Yeah, because Maxwell went out totally.
Okay.
So,
Well, they can watch the video too, so.
okay, I'll talk to them and troubleshoot later. Thanks, Jared.
Yep.
Sorry.
So anyway, as we go through this, we see that they're taking notes on things that they've done. This right here says, I've talked with one of the other group leaders, allowing him access to our logbook. This maybe is not so essential to the project, right? Here, they've met two of the clients, and they talk about groups and share no ideas we can keep compatible. The tower wants to reach 30 to 40 feet. You need to have as many sensors as possible. So this information is important. We're putting together things that are important for the project, numbers, dimensions, things like this. Maybe these need to be made into a list instead of being stuck in a paragraph here so that they're easier to see. Tower height, 30 to 40 feet, number of sensors, whatever. So you need to be careful how you enter things in so that it's easy to see things. Here we have a connected document of some kind. This is the connected document for the other team, I guess. Let's see if we can connect to some of these things. So here they've connected to a website that is some kind of website for parts that they were thinking of using. So you can do that if you're using a website to design something. That's great. You can link to PDFs. You can link to all kinds of things in here, and that's kind of nice because then you don't have to have the pictures in the actual logbook, just links to them. You can link to other documents in your Google Drive, which is nice as well. So you can download a picture and just link to it. Sometimes it's nice to just drag it into the document, but that's up to you. Here they've made some choices on possible devices that they want to use. 3 different devices, so you can click on them, see which ones they are, learn something about a particular device. This is a thermistor device, and so on. So this is not a bad, especially after it gets going, this is not a bad logbook because you can see they've got a little summary, they've got a date, they've got a name, a little summary, and then they've got information on the things that they've done work on. This is the kind of logbook that I would like to see you making as we go into our next project, which is the slow car design. We've got about 15 minutes left, and we're going to spend the rest of this time now talking about our next project. So you should share with me your logbook as soon as you do it. The best thing to do when you're sharing a logbook is to share it to make it available to anyone who has the link. If anybody who has the link can open it, then it won't ask for an email or anything else. Somebody just clicks on the link, they can get to it. It's one of the sharing options in Google Docs. So please make that the option. Otherwise, it gives me all kinds of grief. So let's take a look at our slowest car on the road assignment here. And this is the assignment as it was made last year. We first started doing this last year. The criteria for the project. You'll be making a car, and in the end, your car will be tested by releasing it one at a time. So one car will be tested at a time. And I'll release you at the edge of, and it says one at a time inside of, but I'll put it at the edge of. A 2-meter diameter circle. So 2 meters is approximately 7 feet, a little bit less than 7 feet. 2 meters is 6 foot. I'm trying to remember exactly how much 2 meters is. 6'6" or something like that. 6'5". I don't know, somewhere in that range. But a 2 meter diameter circle will be essentially the test range, and you can release it going in any direction that you want. But the objective here is to keep the car within that 2 meter circle for as long as possible, moving the whole time. So we have a stopwatch that will begin timing as we release the car at the edge of this 2 meter circle. The circle cannot be altered or modified in any way during the test. If the car stops for more than 1 second during the run is ended. So essentially, if it stops, I'll say 1/1000 and then done. Right? When the car completely leaves the circle, the time of the run will also be recorded. So we'll end the stopwatch in either of those two cases. The car must be made of the project materials provided. So the materials that I've given you in your packages can all, any of those can be used. Again, remember that you have other projects coming up, so try not to use everything in there. Don't want to have to mail too many replacements, but the car must be made of those things. I don't want you adding anything else to that kit for this particular project. Each car will have 3 trials in the circle. The longest time will be your recorded time. Between runs, cars may be repaired but not modified or changed, so your design cannot change between runs. However, if your car breaks, then you can return it to its original condition, the original design. And then before any testing, 3 possible designs with drawings, an evaluation matrix, and a final design drawing must be turned to the instructor. So we've done this before. We've already done this with the bridge, where you created 3 alternative designs, and those things should be in your logbook. So I should be able to see those in the logbook long before we do this test. And then I should also see an evaluation matrix where you decide which is the best design according to the criteria that I've given you here, and any other engineering criteria that you think important. And on pages 138 and 141, you can see that there are some evaluation matrices that you can use as your model. And then the final design drawing should also be in your logbook. Now these say that you should be turned into the instructor. If you put them in your logbook, then I will know that they're in there. If you don't put them in your logbook, you can turn them in by email, that's fine, but if you just turn them into your logbook and say, look, I put these in my logbook, they're done, then that's good enough. Project will be graded on the following scale: 40% for participation. If you complete the design process and the logbook and you build the car, then you get 40% of the grade, just straight out. Right? 30% of it will be the design process. So the quality of the analysis matrices and the process followed, that will essentially be something that I go through your logbook and determine. If I think that you've done a good job of logging your following of the design process, then you'll get those points as well. Otherwise, you'll get fewer than 30% of those points. And then the final 30% of the project will be based on the performance. How long your car spends in the circle, the efficiency of the design by the number of materials you use, the functionality of the design. I might even include in there the ingenuity of the design, the creativity of the design, so on and so forth. Besides this, there's no other rules for this project besides these things that I've given you here. So some people have come to me and said, well, can I make a 3-wheel car? Sure. Can I make this? Sure, as long as it follows these rules here, as long as you're using these parts and following these rules and these criteria, you're just fine. So I will email this to all of you so that you have this slowest car on the road document for your own. And then let's take a look at our calendar. Our calendar says that technically we're starting this project on Wednesday, and then we're done a week from technically we're starting this on Friday, because we're doing exam 5 technically on Wednesday, but that's fine. We'll start this project. We'll give you a head start on this project as you're doing the exam. Now exam 5, let's see if I have exam 5. Where did it go? It might be on my other computer. But I will send you the project guide, or the project for the slowest car and the exam. I will send that to you today so that you can get started on both. And then next Wednesday, we will start stepping you through the process of this next project. Not next Wednesday, it's coming Wednesday. So we're a little bit ahead, but that's fine. I'd much rather be a little bit ahead than a little bit behind. Also, you can, an exam, since the exam is not scheduled till Wednesday, you can have until Friday to finish it up and to get it turned in. And you can also have the rest of this week to get started on the project. However, probably by Friday, we want to have some of your initial drawings, at least one of your alternative designs. So get started on researching as well this week. Besides that, that's all I have for you today. Hopefully we made a good recording, even though the system was all messed up. We hopefully made a good recording. And I'll send the link out of that recording to everyone as well, since I don't think we're connected to Maxwell anymore. So we'll try to fix this system, or maybe we'll just throw it all out the window and start fresh. See you later.